Hello and welcome to my channel. I am so excited that I finally figured this out. So I just got finished live streaming with some friends of mine and we were crafting with the Spellbinders Club kits. I was crafting with the Wax Seal Club. And after we finished recording the stream, I just continued to play so that I could try to get this. I've seen this a lot on Instagram and I see a lot of reels. And I have never been able to consistently do this myself until now. I finally cracked this nut. I'm so excited and I want to share it with you. Maybe you've already known how to do this for a while now, but I didn't actually go to look for video tutorials. Maybe somebody already has a tutorial on this. I should have just looked a little bit harder, but kind of figured it out the hard way myself. But I'm so excited that I took the time to try this again, and I can get pretty consistent results now. They're not all super perfect, but I really, really like them, and they look much nicer than what I was able to do before. So let me show you how I've done this. I have an electric warmer, but it doesn't really matter too much. If you use a candle flame, that will work just as well, because the key is really using my heat gun. So I've used my heat gun and I'm warming up the stamp itself. So I'm warming up the brass head of the wax seal stamp. Then I am using my heat gun to actually further warm up my wax. Now, I only stumbled upon this because of the fact that I couldn't find a one of those torches to light a candle for my flame, because the electric warmer, it doesn't really get hot enough. So I figured, well, I'll just heat it up some more with my heat gun. And you want to heat it up until you really can see the wax move, almost like you're worried it may even spill over. So you can see just the air being blown from the heat gun. And normally a heat gun doesn't, push a lot of air out, but it does push some air out. And you want that to look how much it's moving the wax. And that's because the wax is so melted that it is just effortlessly moving with just the air coming from the heat gun. I quickly warm up my wax seal head again. Be careful, it's going to be hot because it will retain heat. And the reason to do all of this heating is because as soon as your wax hits something cool, it's going to start to harden. And by heating it up extra hot, you can see I can pretty much pour this wax off of the seal. It's that melted. And because everything's a little bit warm and the wax is a little bit warmer, it just gives you a lot more time to move that wax and scrape it off of the head of the stamp. So I'm just using my, you could use a metal palette knife if you want. You definitely want metal. You don't want anything like aluminum or plastic, because that'll melt. Everything's going to be really hot here. So you want something nice and heat proof so that it doesn't melt. And there's so much, it's so warm, the wax, that I can even pick up a little bit of the wax. And if I've missed any areas in the seal, I can actually pick up a little bit of extra wax and scrape it over any areas that I might have missed. But that's really the key, is to keep everything really warm. And that way you have a lot of time to kind of move it around on the design, on the wax seal stamp, and scrape it off. Now, I thought maybe I would have enough time to get a second, that it was hot enough that I could actually get a second pour onto this design. And I did reheat everything a little bit. Now here's where the electric warmer is kind of nice, because you can let it sit in the warmer and it's not going to scorch or overly melt. But I didn't quite have enough left in my spoon there. And so this one didn't turn out quite so nicely. So I ended up just remelting this wax. You can see how quickly it has cooled and hardened. This little marble slab is really nice for pouring your wax onto. And so I did end up re-pouring the heart design. I couldn't quite get two off of that. But in the meantime, I'm going to melt some of my blacks wax. And here you can just melt this the way that you would normally melt it. You don't necessarily need to get this to be super hot, to be super flowing like I did with the pink. Now, I was just impatient. That's the only reason why I'm taking a heat gun to it. It's not to get it to be super melty. It's just to help it along a little bit because I was so impatient to get to the next step. That's also why I'm stirring too, just to get it nice and even consistency. And the thing is that the electric warmer, it's great because when you're normally pouring some your wax seals, you don't want it to be super flowy because then it oozes out too much and it spreads too much when you're just doing the regular stamping to create or form your wax seal. So the warmer is perfect. It just doesn't get hot enough to do this method so that there's enough time for you to scrape off that first color and then, stamp again into a different color and get this awesome look here. So I'm super excited. It works a charm. The key is to really use that heat gun to get the wax, that first color of wax, to get it melted enough so that the air coming from your heat gun can move the wax around in the spoon. And then you know that it's really, really warm and is going to give you ample time to scrape off of the seal. I have even done this on a cool wax seal head, and just warming up the wax to that degree is sufficient. But if you need the extra time, if you warm up the wax seal head, that just gives you even more time, because then you're pouring warm, very hot, really, wax onto a warm seal head, and nothing starts to like super cool down and harden real fast. So it gives you that time to just scrape that design cleanly off of the head of the wax seal. But to be honest, if you are quick enough and you've done this enough times, then you can probably skip the step of warming up the wax seal head, the actual brass seal design, and you can just pour that very hot wax onto that and then scrape it off. So I'm really excited. You can see I've done quite a few as practice before I started to film, and and then I'm just gonna, now that I've kind of unlocked the mystery of this, I'm gonna be doing this a lot more, because I feel like it really helps your design come to life, and especially on seals that have words and lettering, I feel like it makes it so that you can actually read it as perhaps the sentiment on your project. So speaking of my project, what I started during my Crafty Fun with Friends live stream with Carrie Rhodes and Lauren Taylor-Made is a set of ATC cards, artist trading cards. So what I'll do is I'll just finish making those ATCs, and I'm gonna set the rest of this video to some music. I won't return with a voiceover, so I'll just say my goodbyes now. Thanks for catching my video today. I hope that you enjoyed this technique, and if you give it a try, let me know how it goes, and I would love for you to share your makes to my Facebook group, Crafty Fun with Friends of LV Handcrafted. Thanks so much, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye!